Bitcoin has finally been pumping all the way up to $118,000. If you have been watching my videos, you know that we have been long since 108,000. As you can see, even in my previous video where we were still at 112,000, I was warning you that I was expecting price to move up all the way up to 118,000. And fast forward 10 days, this is exactly where we are now. We were exactly here, and I was telling you that I was expecting the flipping of this level to then move up to 118,000. Now this is where I have planned a new short trade. So during this whole rise, I have not been taking any short trades. As you can see, all I did was stay in my long trades where I already took $2,000 of profit on my Bitcoin long since 108,000. This was my trade, this was my entry, and now we are at 117,600. Same thing for my second account where I compounded my long at 115,000, where I am currently making 1.5K. And then of course, we also have the long on Ethereum, which was given in the last video, but we will talk about this later. So regarding Bitcoin, we are now approaching a very important level of resistance, which as I've mentioned already is this daily naked point of control, which I hope to hit today, as well as this big range point of control from this whole range that we have been in since the start of July. So this is a very important resistance. Once again, if we blast through this level and simply flip it into support, I will not be taking any shorts. However, if in the next hours we keep on rejecting, have a little market structure change, then at this point, I will open this short trade. And as I've said already, I don't really expect this short trade to have a full reversal. I would expect something more like a pullback to find support and then keep going higher. However, in order to be protected, we want to stay in this short trade because just in case we flip this level into resistance, then we can expect a move lower. And in that case, we are protected. We have our short from 118,000 and we have nothing to worry about. Where is this trade going to be wrong? This trade would be wrong if we get a reclaim of this value area high. We chill above here, we reclaim it, then I would expect a new all-time high for Bitcoin. So it's very, very simple. We either stay in our long trade or we open this short trade as an edge to protect ourselves. But that does not mean that we are going to close this trade. Sure, we will take profit here, but both these trades will be open at the same time. One potential long trade that I could be looking at on Bitcoin is if we go and scoop this liquidity down here, this anchor VWAP moves up, and we can expect something like so to then proceed to our higher targets. This is the only trade that I would potentially be interested in, once again, if we get a good reaction and if the timing is good. Now, moving on to Ethereum. We had this short trade on Ethereum, which was perfectly closed at around the bottom. I told you I was expecting 4.3, and I told you at 4.3 I was interested in another long trade. That is exactly what we did. I opened a long right here, entry at 4,300. As you can see, making about $2,000. We took profit along the way, and now for Ethereum, obviously, this could be considered a resistance where you could short. However, I would keep an eye on Bitcoin because if Bitcoin keeps pushing, then I would expect Ethereum to also reclaim this value area high to push perhaps for those 5,000 that I've been talking about for so long. So as of now, I don't really see any new long trades or short trades to be had, and I'm staying patient for higher prices. AVAX, I have been telling you to buy since $18, so I was accumulating down here. This is one of my biggest bags as of now. I think I'm holding more than $50,000 or $60,000 in spot. However, as of now, I'm staying patient for my target of $35, where if we get a bearish reaction, I will be looking for a short trade. Just like Bitcoin, I would expect for this to eventually hold as support for higher targets. Keep in mind that if we flip this area right here, I'm expecting a move towards 45. And then finally, Solana, the next target is 252 right here. If we flip this, I honestly expect a new all-time high. We have been long since 99 and we have been long since 130. Same thing for hype. I expect for this coin to keep pushing up. I mean, it's just making higher highs and higher highs. However, the next long trade that I would be interested in would be at around $47. We can see this area as a flip into demand and supply. So if we get the anchor VWAP to move up, or perhaps even this one, we could see something like this to then continue higher. So I know this was very quick. However, there's not really much interesting stuff these days on the altcoins. So I hope this covers it all. The most important thing right now, I would say, is the Bitcoin short trade. So just keep an eye on this. Then one last thing I want to show you is this insane trade that I gave on NEO, which is now up more than 65%. I've really just played this perfectly. I gave you the perfect entry. Then I gave you a take profit here, a take profit here. I then told you that we could have expected a max support around this area, exactly this. I can show you in my Discord. I told you that I want to see this area back tested and hold for another push up. As you can see, I gave you this box. This box held perfectly, and now we are going for that push up. And as you can see, I am now making $7,000 on this trade, and I already took about $2,000 or $3,000 of profit, which means that just with this trade, I made $10,000. So that was a great trade, and I am honestly expecting for NEO to for sure go take this high at 7.7. And if we can reclaim this area, I would expect for a move up to 10. If not, I would honestly be interested in a short trade here on a change of market structure and weakness to take this back down to perhaps 5. So I hope everything is clear. If you would like more updates like this, you can subscribe. I'm going to try to make an update once or twice a week. Thank you very much, and see you in the next video.